Hi, everyone. It is Casey Washington from Sustah-Girl Chronicles, Travel and Wellness for Women Over 50. And today we're going to talk a little bit about travel to Ayers Rock, which is in Australia. And the historical name is Uluru. And I'll explain a little bit more why it is Uluru, and some people will recognize it as Ayers Rock. But if you've ever gone to Australia or you're planning to go to Australia, I want to talk a little bit more about your visit to Ayers Rock and what to prepare for, because it is a different kind of place, but it is such a wonderful experience once you get there. So, first of all, Australia is just this wonderful place. And Uluru or Ayers Rock is actually an UNESCO site. And it's also on what they call one of the nature or natural wonders of the world. But I want you to imagine standing in the absolute center of a continent. And Australia is my sixth continent that I visit. But imagine that the air is still, the dirt is beneath your boots, and it's a vibrant rust color. And looming over you is this monolith, right? That is so massive, it feels like it's just kind of standing on its own gravity. Most people know it as Ayers Rock. That was the name that was given to it in 1873. But to the people who have lived there and lived in its shadow for over 30,000 years, it is called Uluru. This isn't just a geological wonder. It is a spiritual heart. It is a sacred place to the native people that are there, and they have taken it through centuries and years, and they protect it, and they know um, it stands as an incredible icon for them. So if you're planning to visit, you need to know a few things before you take that journey. So let's talk a little bit about the history of Uluru. First of all, it is in the Northern Territory of Australia and the heart of the Red Center. And it is what they call an Inselberg, which is an island mountain. I learned that. I didn't know that. That was something I learned. And that's the thing about travel is that you learn so many different things about different countries, the geography, the geology, the culture and things like that. But here's the mind-blowing part now. It's like a it's like this terrestrial iceberg, right? What we see the tip, only the tip. The rock actually extends 5 to 6 kilometers deep into the earth. Isn't that amazing? 5 to 6 kilometers deep into the earth. And scientists say it started to form about 550 million years ago, and that it compressed into um, being by this weight of this ancient inland sea. Right. But what is even more important in modern history, what we saw was a shift. In 1985, the Australian government decided that it was going to hand back the park to the native people. And this is something that's very historical because for decades it was managed by the Australian government, but they decided to hand it back to the people who've watched over it for all these thousands of years. And more significantly is that uh, in October 2019, they decided that they were going to close it off to climbing on top of it because it was an act of respect because this is such a sacred place to the Anangu people who are the traditional custodians of the to Uluru. Okay. So they have given it back to the people and they co-manage it together. And I want you to know UNESCO recognizes it as both a natural and cultural significance. So that's very, very important, especially the cultural piece when you go to visit. Moving on to more about the cultural significance of Uluru. I can call it I don't want to call it Ayers Rock, even though that's what most people know it as. But I want to call it Uluru because that is the historical name of the place. And the cultural history of it, it brings us to the people who have protected it for so many years, the Aboriginal people of Australia's Western Desert region. And I'm going to mess up the name, but the Anangu are the people. And they are the traditional owners. They understand the land, and they know that it translates to like this, what they call the dreaming. But that's just kind of an oversimplification of it all. It represents their religious philosophy, it represents their legal system, and their map of the world, and it explains how their ancestors created the landscape. I mean, it's so interesting, y'all. Um, every crack, every cave, every weather pattern on the rock is a physical record, y'all. It's a physical record of the ancestral story. So that just, just imagine that, just passing down those traditions for millennia. Who can say that, how many people can say that they have passed things down for millennia, right? And again, it's a natural wonder. Um, it's considered, Uluru is considered a living cathedral. That's what is considered a living cathedral. There are areas around the base. There's significant water holes that where ceremonies were held for millennia. You'll notice signs that say, please don't take photographs. And that is because in the culture, um, certain images and certain knowledge are considered sacred. So put away your cameras, where they say don't take pictures, don't be rude, be respectful, please, because you're helping to preserve the culture. The Aboriginal people in the area really, really care about this place because it means so much to them. And some hints about when you get there, right? I want you to have a great time. All right, the first thing I want you to know, if you're feeling inspired to go, I need you to be prepared because the Red Center is really beautiful, but it's a harsh environment, right? It's like the desert. So first thing, I want to tell you about the flies because they will drive you nuts. I can't stress it enough. If you visit in the summer, which is our winter in North America is their summer, you are going to encounter what they call the Aussie wave. You're going to be swatting flies. They're going to make you crazy. So my suggestion is you buy a head net. And you can see in my picture, I have the net and I have definitely a hat for the sun. I have my sunglasses. But even with the net, the flies will fly on the net, but at least they're not getting to your face and they're not getting in your eyes. The net costs $5, y'all. Spend that $5. Is the best money you will have spent. Spent that $5, right? Second thing, the temperature. Honey, it can get hot, hot. So wear layers because at night it can get very cool if you visit in the evening. It was so hot when we visited that I could feel the heat coming through the sole of my shoes. It was hot, honey. It was hot. But just be ready. Make sure you carry some water, like 1 liter per person per hour. You have your sun protection, your sunscreen, your hat, your sunglasses, insect repellent, your fly net, light and breathable layers for the day, a jacket for the night, comfortable walking shoes. Make sure you respect the culture as we talked before. It is sacred. Read the signs, respect restrictions on photography in certain areas. And make sure if you can take the loop to walk around. It's about 6 miles. You don't have to go that far. It's flat and it's easy. It allows you to see the different textures, the water stain grooves, and the ancient rock. And just finally, buy your national park pass online before you arrive. Before you arrive. So those are just some quick suggestions. And I want you to start packing and getting ready for your trip to one, Australia, and making sure that you visit Uluru while you're there. Meanwhile, pack your bags. But if you're a woman over 50, join Sage Women Wonders. That's my online community for women travelers. We represent travel and wellness. So you can click on that QR code. If you want to get in touch with me, you can follow me on social media at Sister Girl Chronicles at IG, Facebook, Sister Girl Chronicles. You can email me at sisters@sistergirl.com and follow me, follow me, subscribe to me, and let's take some more trips. And on that note, I'll see you sometime somewhere in the world. Have a great, great day. See you soon.